What's going on, everybody? I am BirdDog John. Thanks for joining us today, and we are going to kick things off here. It is 1 a.m. in Melbourne right now, and that is exactly where I am. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Robbie to the show. What's going on, man? All right, let's see. Hey, what's going on, Judson?
Hey, thanks for having me.
I do much more. We are joined with BirdDog Ian, who is at the Capture Summit over in Atlanta. So how's it going, man?
Hot and sweaty.
That's the most important question that our team can ask. Why are you needing this camera?
Now, I haven't tested this thing since it got here. This is something that I'm really excited that NDI did. That's cool. Obviously, there are lots of flavors here, but this is the 4250 line. And our little friend here. Say hello to my little friend. It's brewing in the back of my throat. Based on the recommendation of Senseless, we're going to give a Java Monster a try.
Oh, yeah, Pocky,
We
dude.
got a little Pocky, and
Yes.
I have been putting this off for an age.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
There is a Snacks on Stream mystery box brought to you by my Snacks on Stream manager, Brayton. What's going on, Bugsy?
There you go. What's going on? Bali, good to see you, man.
What's going on, NetHab? Hey, what's going on, Judson? And hey, Kevin, good to see you, man. What's going on, Jeremy? How are you? Thanks for jumping on. Oh, it's all good.
Here we go!
What is going on, everybody? Hopefully you're doing well. I am BirdDog John. Thank you for joining us again today for another unbelievably exciting hour. I'm just going to check the, at least an hour. Just going to check the channel real quick. I heard the videos coming through, so that's all good. I'm glad to see that those are happening. Looks like my audio is coming through on YouTube as well. Hit us up at birddogjohn.tv. Subscribe to that station, channel, whatever it is. And that would be a good place to follow along with the support show. And anytime we do anything like this, it will get posted there, along with a bunch of other outlets. But that's the place to be, apparently. So good times there. Really excited to have today's show. It's been heavily requested that we talk about BirdDog Play, and so that is what the plan is here. Today, as we're going to go through, we'll catch you up to speed as to what's happening at the support office, but and kind of what's changing and what's moving around. But we'll get into that in just a minute. And I've also been given a Snacks on Stream Pepsi Soda Shop Cream Soda Cola. So there you go. There's that. We'll see what that tastes like. I have no idea. But we'll give that a go a little bit later on. What's going on, GoWeb? This show's for you, man. This was requested, and so I've put it all together, and hopefully we're in good shape to do that. Does this mean that Play is shipping? I've had an order for 6 months. I can't wait to try it out. So Play is shipping. It's coming in from it's basically leaving the factory this week and should be around next week at some point at the distributors, and then you should probably get it the week after, I'm assuming, just knowing how logistics work in the global market. So yes, it is finally finished with manufacturing. The firmware is done. I'm actually running 2 of them here in the office right now. One of them is on, the other one is here for demo purposes, and so we're going to get into that as well. So Play is around, and Play is a real thing, and anybody that's pre-ordered it is going to be a part of the first 2 shipments. This is what I've heard. I don't have like boots on the ground here, but the first 2 shipments, the first shipment is like 1,000 units, and the second shipment is like 1,500 units or something like that. And so all the pre-orders that have been on hold for 6 months are going to be those ones will go out first. So we're pretty excited about that. And you should, if you've pre-ordered it should be coming your way pretty soon. Quit playing games with our hearts. What's going on, NetHab? You'll be proud to notice that I have my hair light on today. So I was thinking of you when I turned that on this morning. Your lips are out of sync. Really? Well, let's take a quick look, because they look in sync here on YouTube. So maybe refresh the stream and see if that helps at all. But Where are you watching? You're over on Twitch? Here, I'll check it out on Twitch. Let me see what it looks like over here. Yeah, it might be a little bit off. Doesn't look too bad though. I would love to see a tutorial on NDI Genlock as the camera firmware is now live. What's going on, Phil? It's like a kung fu movie. Really? Is it that bad? Where are you guys watching this on Twitch? It's seriously, it does not look that bad on Twitch to me. It's not, yeah, it's not that out of sync. It's not certainly like a foreign film. Jeez. No, thanks, guys. All global back orders will at the moment be fulfilled for the first 2 shipments. Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, that's what they've told me, so that's what I'm allowed to regurgitate here. I can't wait to get my hands I can't wait to get my both BirdDog plays. You order 2, I hope. It's about 300 milliseconds, says Phil. On Facebook, it looks to be in sync. So yeah, 6 to 1, half dozen the other, evidently. Well, anyways, I'm not going to monkey around too much with that because I'm pretty happy with it. That's over on YouTube, but if you guys say so, I will believe you. Let's up the I have a really low. Yeah, even if I turn it up to 1080p, it looks pretty good. So at least 200 milliseconds. Okay, so we're getting a general consensus that I have an audio issue. Well, I can monkey around with that if you want me to postpone the play stuff. That's fine. We can mess around with the audio sync on here. And default input audio delay. Let's go ahead and change this and see what. Oh, restart vMix. Pass. Jeez, what is with vMix being a Windows program, and every time you make a change, it has to restart? For crying out loud. It's more like a video delay. The sound is arriving first, is what NetHab says. I want to see the interface. You do you? No, just do play. Yeah, see? When push comes to shove. Plays for Christmas Productions. Hey, how's it going? Yes, they are on their way out. So hopefully that, I'll just cover up my mouth with the microphone and then you won't be able to tell. It'd be like an episode of Home Improvement. You could just get like a fence and put it up. There's a reference for you. Anyway, so yeah, change the input delay instead and play. It's true. All right, so let's take a look at the play stuff because I know that's why pretty much everyone's here. So BirdDog Play is a thing, and it's out in the wild. It is coming to a distributor near you, and we're pretty excited about that. We've got a couple of them here, and so we're trying to let me just close this out. So we're trying to cover as much of that as possible, and also be sure that you're aware of what options you've got. Now, I'm actually running a play here in the office, in the studio, that is showing a vMix output, NDI output. That is the multi-viewer, which might be causing our new delay issues here today, potentially. But anyways, I've got vMix output 3 is a multi-viewer, and it's going over to a BirdDog Play. So I will fire up this one and start to get it kind of set up. So first thing that you're going to need is the USB cable that comes with it. This is what we use to power the unit. There is no PoE in the BirdDog Play, and mostly for cost reasons, we wanted to keep the cost down as much as we could. And so we're using USB, and part of the reason for that is because most modern televisions, which a lot of these devices we foresee being attached to, will have USB on board. And a matter of fact, this TV that I'm using it's a Samsung TV I'm using for my confidence monitor now, which is like I don't know, it's got to be 19 inches. Maybe it's 23. I can't tell. It's 24. It's a really old Samsung TV. Oh, it has a USB port on the back of it. I mean, and it's probably 15 years old at least. So they've been around for a while, and USBs are a real common thing. I mean, of course, you can always get a USB to power adapter if you wanted to run power behind the television instead. But the idea is that it's supposed to be pretty versatile and that you don't need a whole bunch of bricks and stuff to plug it in. So in the box comes a USB cable that is this is USB-C, but the other end is USB-A. So that is how we're going to power this thing on. And then, of course, you're going to want your Ethernet cable. So because we don't have PoE requirements, we can get away with just having non-PoE switches. However, still don't go with the unmanaged option because we're talking about NDI, right? So unmanaged is not supposed to be used in the NDI realm. And that's not just me saying that. That's new tech standard. So use a managed switch, but there is no PoE requirement for the Play. And then we power it up with the USB. So let's switch over there. Let's plug it in. Okay, so now that we've got that up and booting up, there is a little light on the front of it that will indicate it's a little green light that's on the front of it. So when you plug it into USB power, it should fire up. Now I've just got that USB plugged into my Mac USB port just to supply it power here for a minute. But then the boot up, actually, I've been really happy that the boot up process does not take very long at all. And so I've actually already gone in here and given this a local name for the MDNS. So this one, let's jump over to this screen. So this is our web interface. And like I said, I've already given mine a local name, but you just discover it the same way that you would any other BirdDog device. Now, in my instance, I had to revive these. These were pre-production models. And so there's the same chip and everything like that, but these were all alpha firmwares that were on here while we were testing them for the past several months. So the other day, after Tuesday's show, I decided, okay, we're going to do a play show. And so I went and I followed the update instructions that I've been given for these pre-production models, and it worked really well. So here we are. Here we are on the web UI. Now, it looks very familiar. I'm sure that you're all familiar with this interface if you're running the NDI5 stuff, which is what we are up to right now. And I don't have any sources connected to this. I pulled the TriCaster source, which is, just one that's on the network. But we're going to log in. Now, it's all the same in terms of getting into this and navigating around. So put in our super secret password. I'm just going to jump over to the comment section again because you guys are still talking over here. So I want to see the interface. I just had similar issues with YouTube. Hey, what's going on, Dark Acid? Good to see you. Just wear a mask. Problem solved. Yeah, the synchronization issue, it's true. We could just cover up. And I'd love to see a flex out and a play in latency test. I'm not doing that today. Unfortunately, it doesn't have PoE, but with the cost, it's understandable. I thought that you were going to drop that thing. Yeah, I almost did. Almost did. Whoops a daisy. PoE splitter, USB-C, active PoE with USB-C adapter, yada, 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 compliant with Raspberry Pis, Google Wi-Fi, security cameras, and more. This could be useful. I'll have to Google that for you. Your out of sync has been fixed? Really? Interesting. From Sweden, what's going on? Now, I went on to Google Translate and I copied your name into Google Translate from Swedish to English. And then I tried to have it pronounce your name in Google Translate. And so the way it said it was more like Hukan. Is that correct? Is that close? I know that you gave me a little pointers on Tuesday, so I wanted to, but I don't want to butcher it. I want to be careful with names here. What's going on, John? Brendan Stark, NDI via BirdDog Play device setup. I don't know who that is, but okay, we'll check that out. Okay, so here we are with the just caught up on the chat here. So this is our interface, and we have a nice little picture here of our BirdDog Play. and dashboard. It gives us the same sort of readouts that you're used to seeing with NDI5. All the same kind of general information, including what firmware version we're running and what network configuration we're in, what IP address, and all that sort of good stuff. And then our video frame rate 1080 at 5994 is what we are currently decoding. So in 422. So we can just click through this stuff so that you guys can see what it is that we've got. Very similar networking tabs as the rest of our fleet. This is where we change that BirdDog local name for the MDNS to recognize exactly what we want to call this thing. So if we want to get to it locally, what I really like about this is that guys can change these to like names of rooms that the TVs are in, for example. So if you're using these on televisions or if you're using these on signage or whatever, you can just number the TVs, and call it like main hallway TV 1. It's just 1 through 5 or whatever it is that you have down there. So you can overly simplify this interface so that you can interact with it. Now, if you're going to get a whole bunch of these going, obviously we're going to be talking about multicast stuff. So we'll get into that maybe another day. But here, all your Discovery server, if you want to quiet down all the broadcast stuff, which I strongly recommend, you could definitely do that here. Discovery server is integrated. And of course, DHCP, which is the only way to live anymore. And then, of course, we do have all of our NDI5 protocols that are acceptable. This is a receiving device. I mean, there is no outputting. There is no encoding function. It's just a decoder. And so here we are with these items. And so these will be pulling streams from your main, interface or whatever. So I've got vMix and it's running, multi-viewer, and I've got a vMix output NDI that's bringing this over to StreamYard, which is on a separate computer. So that's how all that's working. So anyways, if you're going to really up the ante, then you might consider using multicast, because multicast will give you the ability to send one-to-many without, duplicating all of the network taxation. But if you want to learn more about that, let me know in the chat. Okay, we're going to switch over here now to System tab. That's where we're going to change our password if you want to lock these up for some reason. You're going to change your password here. You're going to do your firmware file updates just like you would on cameras. We can upload a remote IP list, which is going to be super helpful for those of you who are trying to cross subnets, not VLANs, but subnets. And then, of course, your group list if you need to add this to an NDI group. Now, be careful here, because in the past, you can add your group list here so that it knows where to look for sources. That is where you would do that. Okay, so we're not generating a source, and so we don't on a camera site. For example, here's a P100 on this site under, is it AV setup or cam control? It's here it is. Yeah, AV setup. If you want this to broadcast into the group, so I'm generating NDI here, you fill out this information. If you want this camera to be able to see sources in a group, you fill out this information. Okay, so this is like the receiving side. For example, failover sources. So this is the receiving side of things. And then your AV setup is if you need to add the source that's being encoded off of this camera, it's going to be here. So that is kind of the difference there. And then you can do that here by this is the actual, I want to belong to a group. And so I'm going to put that information there. All right, over to AV setup. Then here's that failover source option. So if this for some reason stops detecting my vMix multi-viewer, actually that's that one up there. But anyways, if the play that I'm using, that I'm watching multi-viewer on, fails to connect to that, I can switch it over to the P200, which is my primary camera that you're looking at here on the show. You can actually have this thing time out if you want to. So if the HDMI, if you're connected via HDMI, but there is nothing on the other end, you can actually have it time out. That's interesting. And we can enable and disable the OSD. Let's do that on my multi-viewer one. Let me log into this one. I just want to see how that works. Yoink. Sorry, guys. Oh, so Mr. Sweden says I'm close. I love how simple the UI is. I would agree with you. It is pretty straightforward now. If you've been with us for the long haul, you know our days with the web UI and how this has evolved over time. But yes, it's supposed to be overly simple so that people can just look at it, get the data they need on just a few screens. What would be default or preferred receive mode? Let me come back to that. Hey, that is helpful. It'd be nice to upload a PNG file so that it would be so that it would have a local failover. We talked about this on Thursday, and I'll come back to that Acid, because there's some interesting thoughts there that people have suggested, and then they submitted some tickets. Okay, let me just jump over here to this. If I disable this OSD, okay, nothing yet. So I'll sort that out here. Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what this is? When there's no source, there's the IP addresses on the screen. So that's what this is. That's turning that off. Oh, that's super nice. BirdDog engineers, geniuses. All right, so just going along here now. Now we're looking at my multi-viewer one. So obviously I'm connected to that decode source, which is US Studio, which is now my computer, and vMix output 3. Now, an interesting thing about that was vMix wasn't. I didn't save the configuration when I set all that up. And so when I turned on vMix, it wasn't actually generating NDI, and it was just had the BirdDog logo with the IP address on the top. And then I turned on that source as an NDI, that output 3. I turned that on as multi-viewer, and the screen came right back up. So it remembered the source, and when the source came online, boom, it switched over to it. So that function, that remember the last source you used function, that's in the video, the promo video, is fully functional. I can attest to that. And then we'll set up a failover source on this one. So I'm going to say this is my Studio P200, and that way, if for some reason vMix drops the source, then it will switch back to my primary camera, which is a separate source on its own outside of vMix functioning. So even if I turn off vMix now, it'll switch over to the P200. So that's super nice. Cool. And then the big logout button. So it's not super deep. I mean, there isn't the primary function is to output. It's an ARM process, and it would be fun to go head to head with two identical monitors, which I don't even have here in this. Oh yeah, I do. Are these two the same? Yeah, these two are the same. So I could go head to head with two flexes and actually just have the flex out on one and the BirdDog play in another, and just see how that kind of goes. But that would need to be an experiment that I do off camera, because I would have to turn off this computer, because I would need both of those. I need both the same monitors to do that test. If you're testing it outside of those, then that's obviously it's going to introduce latency, or it's going to, if you have two different monitors, obviously it's going to be showing the display differently, regardless if they're the same brand. So do you have HX sources on your network? Sacrilege. Do I? Let me look. I have a VLC source. Which one did you see was the HX source? I don't see anything that's HX here. I see TriCaster, those are full. I see VLC. That might be an HX source, but that's an audio channel. That's not a video. And then I have BirdDog devices, vMix sources, NDI virtual input, that's a full virtual input there. Clay's is a full virtual, and then 200, a 100, another 100. Brayton has a P100. This is a mini, and that's a P200. So I don't see any HX sources. However, maybe we should. I don't know what's my CPU running at right now. 60%. That's pushing it. It's pushing it. Let's see what we can do here. NDI 5 tools, screen capture HX. All right, so now we're generating HX sources. My CPU just jumped 15%. Whoa. Yikes indeed. All right, now let's go back to my screen here, and we're going to hit refresh. Now remember, use Chrome, and remember, give it a couple seconds to actually refresh so that you can pull up those sources. Okay, so now we do have a couple of extra. Now these are sources that are HX sources. So let's go ahead and hit apply. Oh, whoops. That's the failover. Let's go here. All right, so now my multi-viewer is going to switch out, And I'm going to get a screen capture. Where's the P200? There we go. All right, screen capture. It's mirroring your screen. Use the icon system tray to configure screen capture. All right, so my play did not come back. Let me see what's going on here. Mute NDI. Oh, I got to configure the HX sources. Oh, the failover worked. What's going on here? Screen capture HX keeps like rebooting. That's weird. Low video resolution, 1080. Just do monitor resolution. Whoa, I'd like that. Dude, HX, you need to chill. This program is not working right. 60 hertz. It keeps rebooting. HX keeps rebooting. It like won't stop. Won't stop. Can't stop. All right, I'm going to kill that program because it is. I've never tested that HX screen capture program, and it is glitchy. That is for sure. Okay, so my P200 came back, so the failover is working. That's good news. HX is now down. Wowzers, that was a disaster. It did not like that at all. All right, so let's go back here now and change my source to a real one. So AV setup. And we're going to change this out for the vMix output, which is vMix output 3, not 4, but 3. And we're going to hit apply. And there it is. So it just came back. That's great. And good to go. So that failover function is working. The source decode is working. I don't have audio on this channel, but if I did, I'm betting that I could turn up the audio on this TV. Can I turn up the audio on this TV? I may have to turn it up a lot. Oh, there it is. Yep. So the audio out on that vMix channel is the main audio out, and I can definitely hear it. So that's fantastic. So the audio decode's working. Praise Hallelujah. Okay, but I am going to mute that because I don't need that extra bandwidth on my network. And I do notice that when I make a change on the play, it freezes for a second and then comes right back. So like literally, it looks like a frame drop. But when I make a change inside here, which is kind of expected, I guess, when you make a change in here and hit apply, it drops a frame real quick and then comes right back. So interesting stuff. And then this big old logout button right here. So this should take you back to the login screen. But if you want, you can obviously delete this and just get to the dashboard. And the dashboard should give you, whoops, a daisy. That's the wrong computer, John. It should take you to the dashboard, which of course then you can see what it is that you're up to. So we are using a lot of that CPU, which is totally fine, but the network bandwidth is nowhere near a whole gig, which is what's on this card. If we look, does it give us the readout? It says network speed a gig. Does it tell us how many? It doesn't tell us on this screen what the network usage is. Oh, I'm running RUDP on here, by the way. It doesn't tell me what the network usage is, but maybe I'll log in. It may not give back that like tactile function other than this. It says 26%. So if we redo this, still running 26. So anyway, there you go. All right. Here we go. Let me back up on the all right, Dark Acid is excited about something. I'm sorry that it's been a few minutes and so now I've forgotten. You said the play supports HX sources. Yes, I did. And it either does now or it will in the future. Let me. Because of Silicon 2? I'm trying to remember if Silicon 2 is coming to this or if it's native or NDI 5. Yeah. Supports all new NDI 5 functions, including high bandwidth, NDI HX2, Learn more about these amazing features over at NDI 5. So there you go. Jeez, had me scared there, NetHab. For crying out loud. How does it support for desktop HX capture? So I just did that, but when I lit up HX desktop capture, it HX, the actual screen capture program started freaking out. So it wasn't a play issue. It was the screen capture, which I've never used the program before. I have it here, but I've never used it on this machine. So it did not want to, it kept rebooting, kept loading and then shutting down. So I think he wants to see how play works with HX. VLC is high bandwidth NDI. There you go. Happy Thursday, friends. Yes, happy Thursday indeed. Welcome. Not sure how well screen capture HX will work with AMD GPUs. Well, we're about to find out. Do you have an Intel GPU? I do. And RX, you need to have an Intel GPU as the main. Okay, good to know. That may be the issue then. It's probably the GPU on this machine. It's always helpful to straighten out our expectations. Thanks for testing this for us, of course. How well does it work with the router? Well, I'm not using the router, but wait, do you mean central or do you mean NDI router? 26% of 1 gig? Wouldn't that be 260 megabits? Well, I don't know. It hasn't actually changed. So, no, now it says 25%. No, I think that graph is actually, so receiving data, and so the NDI stream, the metadata, the audio channel if you have one, but also you know that true 1 gig ports are not actually 1 gig. It's like saying a half-inch camera sensor. It's not a half an inch. 1 gig ports are generally averaging somewhere in like 600 to 700, and I don't know if that graph is accommodating for that. So, but there's a whole bunch of data going on here. Plus, I have a failover source, and I don't know if it's bringing. I don't think it's bringing it in live, but I could be wrong. So, there you go. So one of the challenges that I've had with previous BirdDog decoders is how slow they respond when I change sources. Is that still the case with the BirdDog Play? Yes, because we're changing 140 megabits a second. It's not a video switcher. You're not supposed to be using these as video switchers. They're supposed to lock and synchronize with a source on your network. So if you want to do video switching, use like NDI router and then output a single output to the Play. And then when you switch a source inside router, it'll do it instantaneous with the CPU power of your computer, but you can't expect it to stop 140 or more megabits a second, break that connection, find the other one on the network, reestablish a connection, and then start it up again. So source switching is not something that that's not what these devices are for. They're not for quick switching on a single decoder. You should get that signal to a single signal. Wow, say that 10 times fast, and go with it that way. The Play intro video mentioned HX support as well. There you go. Central or NDI router or Zen router. So I haven't tested any of those. Do I have Central on here? BirdDog Central Pro. This might be the old version. And we're gonna kill the CPU by doing this. So if anybody, if I start glitching out, then let's blame Phil. Are you sure you want to? Oh, I don't even have a code for this one. All right, well, we'll go down that road another show. We'll sort that out later. But that's a great idea. And boom. Thanks, Nightbot. You can always sign up for a free trial of Cloud, by the way, at cloud2.bird-dog.tv. Good stuff. Oh, wow, that failover source was fast. So vMix stopped sending the multi-viewer, and it switched. Like, it showed the BirdDog logo for like half a second, and then it switched to the P200. I wonder if it is bringing in both sources. No. I'd have to look at the switch, I guess, to find out. I've noticed that I don't know if you guys seeing drop frames on the show? I'm seeing drop frames on the multi-viewer, but then the multi-viewer keeps like turning off as well. So I'm not too sure if there's a problem with the NDI output on the vMix or what the story is. But anyways, I'm not seeing the same drops over here. So there's a great user story about cloud. Oh, there you go. Is this on our channel? Because you can check it out. Let me go over to Twitch and pull that. Oh, crap. I can't. I have to go into Nightbot to grab that link. Yeah, good stuff. We'll check that out, Phil. What's going on, Phil? How are you? So there you go, folks. If you missed it, you missed it. But BirdDog Play is shipping. And the video announcement was that we're definitely underway. They're on their way to the distributors, the first and second round. And if you have pre-ordered this product prior to last week, your product was on the first two manufacturing runs. So they'll be there really soon. We're really excited for you to get your hands on them. We're really, really happy with them. I've been monkeying around with them for a couple of days. Well, since Tuesday. And yeah, things are going along just fine. Decoding onto a TV screen, I think they're gonna be a great little option for people to use. Super inexpensive and pretty versatile in terms of they'll grab the signal that you assign it and off you go. So awesome stuff there. The tech specs list supported video formats. Is that what the Play can output or what it can receive? I'm in the broadcast environment, so we will typically be sending 1080i. So these are decoders. BirdDog Plays are decoders. And so these things will receive signals and put them onto TVs. It won't be sending any signals. They're not encoders. They're just decoders alone. And so, yeah, the tech specs should show what resolutions. They're probably all SMPTE resolutions because that's the realm that we live in. So, yeah, 1080i 50, or if you're over in Europe, or 1080i 60, unfortunately, interlaced. It should support that. Matter of fact, I could probably output an interlaced signal and pull that up on the screen if I need to. Change one of my cameras over to an interlaced shot, but there you go. So if I want to use an iGPU for screen capture, display settings, advanced display settings, browser, and then select screen capture HX and set it to lower graphics card. Okay. I believe you. 33 P400s across 7 locations, all being brought into the cloud. Okay, I did see that. So it's a 6-minute video over on the BirdDog website, and they there was a conference that was going on in Houston or Dallas or somewhere in Texas, and yeah, they were bringing across all these different 4K cameras using cloud, and it was a pretty cool user story. It's 6 minutes long. I was going to show it on the bumper video, but it's 6 minutes, and so I can't use it. That's a long way to wait. But I thought, I'll grab the BirdDog Play video that's out and run that instead. But yeah, go over to YouTube, and then BirdDog TV is our channel, and check that out because it's pretty great little user story about a bunch of cameras being used all around the city, all being brought in over BirdDog Cloud, and then up to final production. So it was like a cryptocurrency conference or something like that. So hopefully it went well. I don't know much about cryptocurrency, but I hear a lot about it in the news. All right, well, while we get a breather, let's go ahead and start this little Snacks on Stream segment.
John's just making up stuff to start drama.
Look, I don't know.
Look at him.
Wish me luck, folks. It's my first Vegemite experience.
Final, this is like cheese flavor or something. It doesn't really look too appetizing.
Good golly, this is something else, man.
here's the thing about Pop Rocks, and I don't know if I'm the only one like this. Pop Rocks have always been a social experience for me.
I did not think that is what you were going to say. That's hilarious.
That is awful. Oh, God, that's so bad. Jeez. Holy smokes, man.
Yep. Time again for Snacks on Stream. Hopefully you have been around long enough that you know what's going on. But the guys sometimes feed me random stuff. Well, today is not a dangerous item at all. It is simply cream soda Pepsi. So we're going to drink this while I answer the remainder of your NDI questions as we keep going. So that could have been in the Dallas Convention Center. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. That sounds about right. And I did end up downloading that video by accident before the show started. But oh whoa. But anyways, we have a user story up there, and it's a great little story about. I've only actually watched half of it, I'll be honest with you. But the first 3 minutes was great. Whoa, that's very cream soda like. It tastes like something I've had before. But for some reason, I want to say like medicine that I've had before. Pepsi is medicine. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Well, at least you're being honest. Hey, that's the whole purpose around here, right? I'm not going to fluff it up for you. If you're going to come and ask me questions about stuff, I'll be honest with you. That's for sure. All right. Well, I'm happy to field any questions you have about the Play web interface. I'm also happy to toss that over if you want to take a little closer look at what it is that we're running. I've got the Play here in the office, and this one is actually up and running. I plugged it all in this morning, I plugged it in on the show. So this one's up and running, and the unit is actually drawing a signal. It's just not plugged into a TV screen right now. I do have one that is using a vMix NDI output, and it is showing my multi-viewer. So that's what I'm looking at these days, right underneath the P200 camera. So if you are, if you're curious, yes, they are working. They're working in my office right now. So far, so good. So the rest of the world considers root beer tastes like medicine because a common childhood medicine used artificial root beer flavor. Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, that's a way to ruin a drink. No, this kind of tastes like liquefied fruit smoothie Tums. Have you ever had those? That like fruit smoothie Tums? Here, I'm gonna look them up for you because I'm not lying. It's like fruit flavored. Oh, why are you not typing anything? It's because I'm using the wrong keyboard. I gotta fix that. Fruit flavored assorted berries. It's that one. Yeah, it's 100% this. Oh, that's weird. My screen capture source is not updating. It's still showing. What? It's showing the. Oh boy. What is going on here? All right, so desktop capture is not functioning correctly inside vMix for me for some reason. So I'm gonna get rid of that source. Weird. That is very strange. Anyway, so yeah, it's if you want to Google it, they're called Tums Extra Strength Assorted Berries. There's a little hint of that in this, but it tastes like Pepsi cream soda, which is great. I don't dislike it. So and this is brought to you by Balu, who's here in the office today. I love how root beer tastes. Me too. You should try a drink called what? No, Milkus. That doesn't sound good. I'm gonna Google that too. This is brutal having two screens, or two computer. It's not under the health food, that's for sure. Okay, I see it here. I wonder. Maybe I should NDI screen capture this screen by like mini. Curious. I'm trying to think about what would tax the CPU less, bringing in another NDI source or doing screen capture inside of vMix, because I'm still hovering in the 50s, 60s area with screen capture off. I'm open to your suggestions, vMix users. Let me know what you think. What on earth? What's going on, Balu? Using full NDI capture. Okay. Let's go to let's fire that up. Screen capture. Let's see what my CPU does now. All right, so it's in the 70s now. And if we say add an input, NDI sources. I read somewhere on a vMix forum that people don't trust the oh, this is weird. It's not showing me the that people don't trust the desktop capture function of vMix. Is that anybody's experience? I have used it, like the local desktop screen capture. I've used it and it seems to be okay. But yeah, for some reason people don't trust it. So all right, so here is that this is the full NDI screen capture, and yeah, this is the Amazon. This is what we're being recommended. A 4-pack variety of apple, melon, strawberry, and original. What does original taste like? I like vMix screen capture. Yeah, that's what I read on the forum. People were like, I don't trust it. It eats up all my CPU. I don't trust. You don't trust the original flavor or the vMix desktop capture? This program that's doing screen capture seems to be, using the same amount of resources as HX, but it actually works. This one's working on my computer, so. Sorry, vMix desktop capture. Yeah, I can't. It was working and then it just froze up here mid-show, so I'm not too sure what the story is there, but anyway, whatevs. Oh, I saw those at the World Store in Cali. Oh, really? They have Peanuts characters on them? Is that what I'm seeing? What is this? Right? So, what does it say on there? I'm trying to read the label. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, Apple. No idea. All right. Well, anyways, we'll figure that out. We'll take a look at that. So, if you have any outstanding questions about BirdDog Play and how it is that it functions, and if you want to see anything else here, we've got I've got an actual play here in the studio, and so feel free to reach out to me. I can show you the web interface again if you missed that. No problem. Happy to show that off as well. I am using one of the plays now for my vMix output of multi-viewer. So we're giving that a go. I may even play around with the network receive type. So right now I'm using RUDP, which is okay. This keyboard. But if I'm just curious if like TCP, if it's faster, if it's, just if it makes any difference at all. I'm running RUDP, network protocol, RUDP, change it over to TCP, hit apply. And then like always, I always recommend you going to the dashboard and hitting restart video. because what that's going to do is just reboot that NDI chip and bring on that protocol. So now the network protocol is listed as TCP. So I can see my hand raise on this screen before I see it raise over there, but not by much. So yeah, there's that. Now I'm running a 4250 switch with NDI 5 on it, and so technically this could run multicast if I wanted. However, I would need to go into Access Manager over here and tell this device, and who knows, I could really jack things up here. Tell this device and tell this computer to start expecting multicast. So if we say advanced multicast IP settings. Oh, receive mode, reliable UDP. Interesting. I'm going to say single TCP on this one. And then advanced preferred NIC card. Yeah. Multicast. Set this up. Enabling this option can cause dire consequences unless the network has been carefully configured to support it properly. Thank you. See, more people need to take a page from new textbook here. So that when people enable multicast, they just think they go into the BirdDog device and they click multicast, and then they're like, all right, I'm done. It's like, no, your network has to be customized and configured for it. It's not just a thing that you don't just flip a switch. But now, if you're running the Netgear 4250s and you have the NDI 5 profile on there, multicast is actually already integrated, so it's ready for multicast packets. So giggity goo and giggity goo. All right, so that's good. And now we're going to go up to this screen and hit apply. And then I'm going to go to the dashboard and say restart. Oh, that's interesting. Here, I'm going to test the OSD thing. I thought that clicking the OSD would mute the IP address, but it does show up when I restart the video. Anyways, the unit is now running in multicast, which is helpful. Let me stop this first of all. I'm going to put this back up here so you guys can see. So the unit is running in multicast now, or at least is expecting multicast. And Access Manager is set up for multicast. I'm not getting as many drop frames anymore as I was before, so that's interesting. Curious if I should set that play to multicast and do this and send the same signal to it. Okay, so here we go. AV setup. Network. Whoa. Change from RUDP to multicast. Hit apply. AV setup. Change this to vMix output 3. Hit apply. Go to the dashboard and say restart. Now, I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's a lot. I'm not getting as many drop frames on the network as I was. Okay. And I also just realized that I never put my video in the bottom corner of this guy. So let's jump into vMix and add that real quick. I'd like to use this one. This source needs to be number 2. Whoa, that's a big, humongous picture of me. Source number 2, we're going to make that a little smaller. And I'm just going to put myself down here in the corner. Okay, so now when we switch over, hey, how's it going? Here I am. Now you can actually see me while I talk about this stuff. So multicast is here. This is the second play unit. When my computer, I can hear the fans inside running. What's my CPU usage? 70%. I can hear the fans running inside. And when the fans kick into like high gear, I drop a frame. And I don't know if it's doing it over on this NDI stream as well, but it seems like running multiple NDI streams out of here is kind of a problem. Interesting. I could connect this screen directly via HDMI into this vMix machine and then output it that way. Well, anyways, these are all problems for me to figure out off camera. welcome to the inner workings of my brain. Here we go. Let's see. Sorry, I got to back up here. vMix Capture works well with dual GPU devices. I thought you couldn't use dual GPUs with vMix. Can Play use Genlock? I don't think so. There is no Genlock option in Play. Mostly because it's a totally different ARM process, right? Like it's a different, where it's not FPGA, so there's no standard there. Yeah, so no, I don't believe that there's a Genlock option there. All of my questions have been outstanding and humble. Really, I will definitely try dual GPUs for vMix desktop capture. Dark Acid, it'll save you having to force the Intel GPU. You said earlier, John, that you wanted to discuss multicast later on the stream. I did, and then I did. Phil, I might try and get Arc Intel to use AV1. MTash, what's going on? Hey, John, I just got out of my 8 a.m. class. Have a lot of 8 a.m. classes this year, so I can't get to the live show as often as I'd like. Anyways, hi. What's going on, man? It's good to see you. Recommendation for capture of a computer screen to NDI and show on a projector without software. To capture a screen. Well, Mini with a loop through. Yeah, I've heard people doing that. What I really recommend is using a Mini, but using something that will force the EDID. So I have a 1080p 5994 EDID pass through. And what that does is you plug this into the side of the cable that's going to plug into the computer. So like you have a laptop or a desk, with a computer in it. You take this and you plug this into the computer HDMI port, and then you plug in the actual HDMI cable into the Mini. And that way it tells the computer or the laptops or whatever it is that you have plugging in that always to request 1080p 5994 or whichever one you choose. And then yeah, you can definitely use a Mini with a pass through and then loop out to the monitor or something like that. And then you have full NDI being captured, and you'll never have to worry about what the resolution is, which means the projector will never have to adjust. The projector will always show the same as well. So it's nice and consistent until we figure out EDID on the, actually on the units themselves, because it's like one of the things we want to work on. That's the easiest, probably the most reliable way to do that. So, hello, I totally missed. You were here like 10 minutes before the show started. Where did you go? Yes, you did totally miss it. Don't worry, though. It's all recorded and saved, so you can definitely watch it. HDMI split to a capture card works well, too. Yes. That's just a little more involved. That's all. Decoders typically don't have Genlock. It's the encoding side that needs to stay in sync with other sources. He is correct. How are you, John? I'm doing well. Hopefully you and your daughter, Sanaya, are also well. NetHub, that's what I thought, too. It should expect perfectly synced video. Oh, some drop frames there. I have to watch this later from what I missed. Yes, I do cover the entire web UI, and I show plugging it in and everything, and it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All right, so I am definitely seeing drop frames on both the sources on this Mac and on the Play, and it's smooth in vMix. So we're having an issue either with the switch. Well, if it's dropping on both, then it's likely the switch. Now I moved everything to multicast, so that I haven't tuned the network for multicast, so not 100% sure whether or not that was a smart move. Probably not. And never change your protocols mid-production. Okay, that's not a good idea. So if I go, oh, you know what though? I didn't change this to multicast. That's what I didn't change. I didn't change it on the Mac. Whoa. So here we go. Whoops. Okay. And then, well, that's interesting. It doesn't give you the TTL option. Okay, so now the computer is expecting multicast packets, as is the vMix machine. This says to expect reliable UDP. That's so interesting. Anyways, I can select multicast at least, and then, whoa, that was a big frame drop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yikes. That's not good. That's not good. Yeah, so don't change your protocol settings halfway through a show, folks. That's not a good idea. All right, let's turn this all off because doesn't seem to be functioning as I expect it to. That's interesting. When I turned off multicast on the vMix machine, the CPU usage on the Play just jumped to 80%. Huh. Wonder if that's a thing. Let's check that out. Advanced multicast check. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure. 46% CPU. Interesting. What? All right, one more time. Check this out. So I'm going to open up Access Manager and I'm going to turn off multicast. Look, we're at 47%. When I turn off multicast and hit OK, of course, oh, boom, 80%. And then when I open up Access Manager, hopefully it's not just coincidental, turn on multicast, hit OK. $65. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on that. That's a little bit strange. I mean, not strange. That'd be great. If multicast reduces the CPU by 20%, I'd be all right with that. Although I'm dropping frames like crazy. So, and then if I kill it here, maybe it'll make this stream better, which is really what matters because that's what you guys are watching. So if we switch that off, yeah, this stream is pretty smooth now. Interesting. All right. Well, that's all very curious. All very curious. All right. What's this? Okay. Yes, I see some drops. Yeah, we've been fighting that all day. Is there a button in the Play unit to connect to a source web page? Let me look. I don't think so. There is not. So there is not. That's a good idea, though. That's a good idea. Maybe there should be. IEP 200 from the Play. That's a good idea. I'm sure it wouldn't be too hard because like Studio Monitor and whatever does it already, right? Any idea when we will get cool Stream Deck companion app for Play? What do you want it to do? Be curious as to what the function, just to change sources like that? How would managing more than 30 plays in a studio environment work? Well, depends. I mean, you can use Central. That's the easiest way. Central Web Plus will show you all of your decoders on one side, and then you can just push the sources that you want that are on your network over to those plays. That's kind of the idea of Central, is to have the ability to push to manage multiple sources going to destinations. So that's the first way that you do it. We're also considering various options for like managing firmwares and that sort of stuff. So there's some options there as to what that might look like. But yeah, we're figuring that out. I don't know if them actually have like working on the software for that, but I know I've talked to them extensively because the question has always been what happens when you buy 300 of them, right? Like what are people supposed to do when they have that many? So yeah, we'll see what happens. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Oh, that's that one. Dang it. All right, back here. Sorry, I'm just monkeying through the settings again on the play. I'm just testing some things. All right. Dashboard. Whoa. There we go. Yeah, keep it coming, guys. Dark Acid, if it supports the API, it should. Oh, for the Stream Deck stuff? Yeah. Can you compare the feed coming from the camera and play in a side-by-side window? Maybe. The feed coming from a I would need like I would need two identical monitors to do that because I want to show the NDI from a P200 on one in studio monitor and then the actual play output and just link it to the P200 as well to show the difference. So yeah, I'll try and set that up, see what I can come up with. Central is the correct answer. I ordered like 50 plays for an esports studio, but did not know how I would manage everything. Yeah, Central Pro is probably what you want to look into. That software, you can group all of them together. You can push the same source all at the same time. Correct. For 50 of them, you're going to want to run a multicast network, by the way. I quickly scrolled back, but I didn't see what it looks like at the display. Looks like at the display connected to the play. Say that again. I quickly scrolled back, but I didn't see what it looks like at the display connected to play. The play has the same API, so the existing companion app should work. If it does, I haven't ventured into the API stuff yet, so I don't even know. In theory, it should. Will the play connect to the same source it was connected to before you switch it off and back on again? Yes, and I did that this morning. vMix turned on this morning, and I didn't save the configuration that I had yesterday that I was using. I had multi-viewer from vMix on the screen, and I turned on multi-viewer NDI output 3 in vMix, and it came back up. So yes, it will definitely do that. Confirmed. What is going on here? Oh boy. That's not good. Oh boy. What is going on? So for the record, vMix is running. It seems to be a network problem. Wow. That's a massive drop frames. Boy, that was weird. Yes, that was a massive drop. Let's try this, I guess. I don't know. I think it's vMix. I keep hearing the computer kick on and then like my vMix NDI outputs freeze. vMix is functioning, but every time all right, I'm going to kill the multi-viewer. Boom, dead. That's going to connect to the P200. That's fine. Yep, connect to the P200. Okay. Let's see what that does to the CPU because it's hovering in like the 70% right now. So we shall see. So yeah, I'd be happy to take any other questions you have about play. We're pretty excited about it. Whoops. Oh no, come on now. There we go. Apply. So I killed the vmix. I killed the vmix output. Now I'm in the 50s on the CPU. Jeez. I killed vmix multiviewer, the NDI5, the NDI multiviewer output, vmix 3, on in here, and it seems to have quieted things down. The fans are like slowing down big time. Man, that's so crazy that's oh well. I have to sort something out. I can do 3 monitors on this computer, so the temptation is just to run HDMI from that screen to here and then just output the multiviewer that way. I meant what does it display when we connect play to a monitor for the very first time? So it shows the BirdDog logo with the new splash screen for NDI5 and the IP address up in the top right hand or the top left hand corner. So in my instance, it's nice because when you plug it in, you can see what the IP is and you can get to it that way. You can also get to it traditional ways, if you're still using Bonjour browser or whatever, but it does have the IP address listed on the screen, which then allows you to jump in and configure it right away when it turns on. And it shows you that it acquired an IP address, a proper one. Curious, does it do the fallback on this? It should. Yeah, so fallback is the standard 100, 100. So there you go. Does it behave the same as the flex out? Well, it depends on what you mean by that. But yes, it does. It doesn't look identical to the flex out screen. Like the flex out, I believe, shows the IP address in the middle of the screen. This one's in the top left. So other than that, it has the BirdDog splash screen, which we've all come to know and love. And then just some basic information there. So it's helpful. All righty. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I could grab this. So I'm going to grab this NDI stream because the vmix is not stressing as much as it was now that I've turned off one of the NDI outputs. Curious that it that it requires that much. But if I attach myself to this stream, which is this one now, so if I cut over to this shot, yeah, it's all here. Now, it's funny, when I'm using the vmix NDI sources, I get drop frames, but when I'm connected directly to a BirdDog source, it's fine. So something indicates to me that perhaps, oh, you know what? Oh, I bet you any money it's because it's going through 3 switches. Oh, I bet you any money that's what it is. So it's going from instead of going from here to this switch, which is where I get the internet and everything, it's going into the other room and then coming back and then coming back to me that way. So it's doing some unnecessary traveling over 2 different brands of switches. I got to fix the network in here. It's like one of those things that's on my to-do list that never gets addressed. Tis the life. Hey, thanks to everybody who's on Facebook that's showing some love. I appreciate that. That's really nice. Let's pop over there and see what is happening on the Facebook channel. This video link is broken. That's because I'm not logged into Facebook there. So I appreciate that. Whoever's doing that, maybe I'll check it on my phone. Oh shoot. I had Ian was supposed to be over at a show. I haven't heard from him today, but that's probably because he's crazy busy. That dude is just constantly traveling and hopefully selling like crazy because that's what we could really use. Always use more sales, right? So let me go to my profile and see what's happening over here. All right, so I can see my live show right there. There I am. It's live. It's happening right now. And then it's also happening on the BirdDog page, right? So if I go to the YouTube or the user group, I should be in here somewhere. Yeah, there I am. A few comments over there. So it's good stuff. Thanks YouTube, or thanks Facebook for hanging out with us. You had boosted vMix with an extra GPU power. So I tried. Unfortunately, the eGPU that I have, vMix won't support. Super lame. Hope they fix that. Is NDI data flooding your network? Yes. I hope CDM dispatches me my BirdDog plays soon. Yes. Okay. So they're on their way from the manufacturing. Oh, hey, this is a different shot, eh? They're on their way from the manufacturer to the distributor. So they should be there, let's say, within a week. And then they should then be shipped out, depending on how quickly your distributors work. They should be shipped out then to you the following week. So they are on their way. Everybody hang tight, and we should see those soon. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. Hopefully everyone else is doing well here. Let me just jump over to a couple of things here. I'm gonna go for like another 5 minutes.
5 minutes remaining,
and then we will wrap it up. Hey, so what camera is on the top? The top view up there? This view? That is an old school P100. And we did some color correction on that this morning. It's generally the one that I have that watches, when I'm doing hands-on stuff. It's generally the one that I watch to do that. And when I'm eating spicy food on this channel, I switch to that one to get the nice close-up shots. But it's literally, I don't know, it's probably 8 feet from me up above. And it's a good little shot. I just wanted something else because I was using this camera for kind of the product shot, which I almost I dropped out of the I dropped it out of the clip that it was in while I was plugging it in, and so now it's all out of frame. It's like kind of wonky. But anyways, there it is. I mean, it's really small. It's designed to kind of like stay tucked away, right? So that's hopefully the whole point is you're able to tuck them away behind the TV or whatever it is that you're using, and then you can giddy up from there. That old school camera is giving a tough fight. Yeah, old school. That good old P100. One of the cameras that we cut our teeth on. We learned a lot with that camera, and now the 110 and 120 are its successors. But yeah, it was a good camera for us for a long time, and I still use one. Use one fairly regularly in this room. We're doing some better tutorials and redoing tutorials that I had done in the office suite at my house. So if you ever see a video that looks like I'm like in a home office, I got headphones on and I'm talking up into a camera, that is my house. And that was the first BirdDog support office ever. So we no longer are working out of my home. Praise Alleluia for that. And we are now in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So it's a good place. Got a lot of guys that live around here, and several of them, a lot of my team live around here. A couple live further away, myself included, but that's okay. It's a good drive into work every day. My parents always drove 30 plus minutes to work. So when I was growing up, I didn't think anything of it. And then I married my wife, and she thinks 20 minutes to work is like ridiculous. Like you should be able to walk to work. So I don't know where she gets that idea, but whatever. It's all good. Whatever she prefers. Thankfully, she drives a little bit more so we can live in the place that we live. So we got a nice place up in, let's say, the Clarkston area. If you know where Clarkston, Michigan is, that's where we are. I need a BirdDog play. Is this just like a statement that you have that, or like you're hoping to get one, or now you have like product envy and you need to like now you can't wait to get your hands on one, or is this like a I need one tomorrow because I have a gig? Because I can't help you there. But if this is just a I'm excited to get my hands on one, or I wish I could afford to buy one, or something like that, yeah, BirdDog Play are great. They're good little device. Great to slap on a monitor. I see a lot of use cases for signage and whatever for these. I think they'll be great. If you're doing mission critical stuff, I still can't give up my Flex out because it is an FPGA first of all, but also, it holds the full NDI standard. So it's hard. If it was a mission critical thing, I would probably say still stick with the Flex out. But if you're just wanting to get NDI on TVs or you want to use it on a monitor or something like that, by all means, tell me what you plan to use the Play for. That'd be great. It's kind of scary having a magnet on the base. Doesn't magnets mess with electronics? It's not a really strong magnet. It's not like super strong. But if you had a metal, like I've got in this office, I've got TVs on walls, and on the back there's a metal plate that goes on the back. So I just stick it to the back of the metal plate, and that works just fine. In the video, they do stick it to the back of a TV. It depends on the TV, honestly. If you put a magnet on the back of a TV, yeah, it'll warp the colors. But typically there's mounting hardware on the back of those TVs as well. That's metal, and you can slap it on there if you need to. So, yeah, there are lots of options, and it's just one option. I mean, you could certainly zip tie it up there if you'd rather. Question: does the 4K quad? Oh, a quad question. Support decode, key, and fill? No, it does not. Key and fill is not something that is supported on the BirdDog fleet. I know that we flirted with it for a while, and the studio did back in NDI 3, but it's like another world. And so we support SMPTE resolutions, full resolutions, so 1080p, 1080i, 2160, P30, and P60 on encoder decoders. But key and fill is not... doesn't have those full resolutions. They're like wacky resolutions, and so we don't do key and fill for alpha. We actually don't do alpha anymore. But there you go. Doesn't mean we won't in the future. I just don't know of any plans to reintegrate it. Yes, I'm hoping to have one next racing season. Right on. What sort of racing? Because we've got lots of guys in the racing realm. I'm always curious to know what people are using, and specifically with the racing world, because, like I said, there's a bunch. So what type of racing are you up to? Hey, how's it going up there? Love it. Thanks for jumping on. I love how StreamYard doesn't know how to integrate with Facebook, so it just says a Facebook user. Thanks for being specific. I guess I gotta log into Facebook in order to actually see who it is that's chatting. But anyway, good stuff. Can we use BirdDog Play as an NDI multi-viewer? So if you were to generate NDI multi-viewer, so if you were to use BirdDog multi-viewer and generate an NDI signal, yes, by all means you could do that. I don't have multi-viewer on this computer, and quite honestly, I don't want it to. Oh, happy International Sloth Day, by the way. Like the animal, the creature. International Sloth Day. There you go. Things that you didn't know you needed to know from Windows. It was on my start menu. Anyways, so if you're generating an NDI multi-viewer with BirdDog multi-viewer, then yes, you could link that source to the play and then show it on the screen. Or if you are generating multi-viewer a different way, for example, I was generating multi-viewer from vMix as an output, an NDI output, and then showing that on a play. But vMix did not like having to generate 2 NDI streams. And so I shut one off, and now there's a whole lot less frame drops. And I'm actually watching the output now from vMix. So output 4 is what I'm using. And that's what comes over to StreamYard, but also I'm using that as my confidence monitor. So I'm just watching the show, but looking straight ahead instead of looking over here all the time or over here all the time. I can actually just see it up there. So that's working out all right. I don't mind that. Thank you. I'm using an older studio in Key and Fill, and it works great. Yeah, you are. If you're still using Key and Fill on studio, yeah, you're only 2 generations behind. Well done. I'm glad it's working for you. Yes, I believe it was 3.0 firmware that worked on. So yeah, if it's still working for you, don't upgrade because you'll lose that function. Short track racing, Plymouth Motorway. Hey, that's like right around here. You're like local to me. We want to use it local in the global sense. We want to use it to show the race at the concession stands and in the office. We use vMix to stream. Yeah. Look at a multicast network to make that happen because you're going to be sending the same stream to multiple places. But if you have multiple screens, you're going to want to duplicate that stream. So yeah, that's a great idea. The Plymouth Motor Speedway. Plymouth Motor Speedway in Plymouth, Indiana. Oh, one of you Indianas. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Cool, man. Marshall County. Sunday. That's really cool. Oh man, your website. Fall Festival Night of Destruction, Saturday, October 15th. Wait a minute. Check 1, 2. What's going on, everybody? So the audio works now on the screen, and it's working on the stream because I'm an idiot. That's why. So there's a good solid 3 or 4 minutes there probably where I was talking to myself. Awesome. Yes. So the audio does work. But that wasn't your question. But the audio does work on BirdDog Play. Yes, the audio's gone, and now you're back. So fun times. What's going on, School of Music? Thanks for stopping by. We got it. Or we get. All right. Well, hopefully that has returned. I must have bumped the audio button on my X keys. I should get a big I should figure out a way to get a flashing light or something when I hit mute. Does vMix have an API? vMix have an API. How did I do that? I must have just nicked it with, like, it's on the corner of, maybe I shouldn't put it on the corner. Maybe I should put it in the middle. Maybe I should move it to a button that's not going to get hit so easily. All right, well, sorry about that, folks. Little interlude there. Okay, well, now that we fixed my audio, it's time for me to sign off and probably get doing whatever it is I'm going to do for the rest of the day. Which is probably answer tickets. And the reason for that is because Senseless is still out sick, and he is my primary ticketing guy. So I've got one guy that's on a honeymoon. He does tickets, and I've got another guy that's out sick. And so the whole office is basically trying to keep up with the tickets that are coming in. So by all means, if you have a question after this show and you want to ask us something about a product you've purchased, hit us up at help@birddog.tv. We would be happy to help you with whatever it is that you got going on. Of course, if you're just interested in products and you want to know more about them, I have an awesome pre-sales team, and they are super dudes who will be able to give you a hand with whatever product questions you have. And so they can be found at hello@birddog.tv, and they can certainly get you set up properly with the right products for whatever your project is. And so hopefully those resources will be helpful. Of course, like I said, by all means, hit us up at or at help@birddog.tv, because that is where the support channel is. But yeah, if you don't want to do that, then come back on Tuesday. Now on Tuesday, we're going to talk about BirdDog and the M4250, and we're going to do a walkthrough on setting one of those up. I actually have one in the other room, so I might just plug that in and start from scratch. Or I might just use this one. I haven't quite decided yet how I'm going to show that example, but I don't want to interrupt the stream, obviously, so we may just need to get a pseudo set up and go from there. But feel free to join me on Tuesday. We're going to talk about the Netgear 4250 and how that works with BirdDog and what you should expect with BirdDog. So that's all good. NetHab said, I'm sorry, another use case where I can use my iPhone as an NDI camera with BirdDog Play. Yes, because it will decode HX. So if you're using your iPhone, curious how you have that on the network, because the big no-no with NDI is Wi-Fi, but HX will do some Wi-Fi stuff. It's hard to guarantee results on a Wi-Fi network, right? Because when a broadcast packet goes out on a Wi-Fi network, it just goes out, and sometimes it never comes back. So it's hard to really troubleshoot a lot of that stuff, but modern day networks might be able to handle HX better than it did 3 years ago. I'm just not 100% sure. And with full NDI, we don't monkey around with Wi-Fi. We just go straight wired all the time. When is the next interim firmware update expected to be? Which product are you talking about? Because we have large amounts of fleets of products. Obviously the NDI 5 update for cameras has just come out on Monday or last Monday. Anyways, it was probably this Monday. Anyways, they came out with NDI 5 for the cameras. That is firmware 6.4. That is the public release for the cameras. It's no longer considered beta, so that one is out in the wild. If you're referring to converters, that one is being developed. I don't know what the timetable is for that, but I do know that it has been a while since we've done a converter update, especially for Studio and Mini. However, with Studio being end of life, which was announced back in like April or March or something like that, it will get the update when it gets the update. I don't know about Mini. I don't know about Flex and 4K Family. Those ones are being decided basically by the team over in Melbourne. So I don't have an exact date for that. On all of them, all of the firmwares. Hey, yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the birddogjohn.tv site, and also, like that video. That'd be great. Thanks, Nightbot. NDI HX app from NewTek. Yes. Yeah, I believe theirs is the only one, right? Can't remember. Anyways, but the converter line is the other NDI 5 update, and I don't know what the timetable is, because there's also that other thing of Silicon 2, and that's a major camera function for a lot of folks to use the cameras with cloud and to use devices with that. So I know there's competing interests there. I don't know what the timetable looks like. I'm not a part of that decision in setting that up. So I'll regurgitate what I can tell you when I can tell you. So anything for me to consider when updating my cameras to NDI5, but having everything else, PTZ controller, Mindis, and Studios, not being updated to NDI5. So in the past, I recommended that if you're using like a mixture of stuff to stay with the same NDI flavor, but if it's all BirdDog stuff, then in theory, you should be safe with encoders and decoders on NDI4 and the cameras on 5. I know the keyboard is it has an LTS update, right? And I think they're working on an NDI5 update for keyboard as well, just to get it up to the latest protocol. So that's coming, I think. But you should be safe with the cameras, because that's what we run here in the office. I'm running Flexes. I'm running, a variety of encoders and decoders around the office on the same network that's running this show, these 5 cameras. So, and all these cameras are running 6.4, the latest firmware that was released for the public. So it seems to be functioning well. I mean, the firmware is really stable. I haven't seen a lot of people complaining about the update. I do see a lot of people still struggling with the firmware update process. And so maybe that's something I need to like record a video on and show folks how to do it. But because that might cut down on the amount of text being exchanged in tickets. But yeah, in short, that's if you're on the LTS update, you shouldn't need to do anything but the firmware update itself. So, hopefully that makes a big difference when it comes to the ease of use in updating. We don't want to do those USB updates anymore because they were such a pain, and people are putting these cameras in places that are not accessible for humans. And so when they're not accessible, it's really hard to do a physical update when you have to plug in USB. So we hear all that. We're trying really hard to get to a place where we don't require that anymore. And that's what LTS was. So there's that. Anyways, updated to NDI5. So yeah, I mean, all of my cameras are running NDI5, right? But the converters and everything are still on LTS. So that's NDI 4.5. But I don't have any issues with packets or whatever like colliding on the network. It seems to be fairly stable if it's just my BirdDog environment. I don't know about third-party products and how compatible they will be. Like if you have new tech cameras that are running NDI4, or if you have, I don't know, KiloView or something. I don't even know how their firmware works. So I couldn't help you there. But on the BirdDog realm, I think you should be all right. Can you share that Networking Plus course link again, please? I forgot to copy it the last time you shared it. Yeah, sure. Hang on one second. It is called the Comp TIA Network Plus course. And wait a minute, that's not what I wanted. The code is N10007. It's called Total CompTIA Network Plus certification. Whoops. Why didn't you copy? Copy. Paste. It won't let me paste it. Let's try this again. Copy. You want the link? Is that what you want? Oh, you know why? Because this is a Mac on a Windows board. So there is the Go Web. Here you go. This is the course that I had mentioned before. It's just great to kind of get your network knowledge up to date. Hi, are you working on a full frame sensor camera as the Sony FR7? No, this is the main camera that you're looking at is the BirdDog P200, because this is a BirdDog show, and so we only use BirdDog stuff. So it's a 1/2-inch Sony sensor, CMOS sensor from Sony, and that can be found on birddog.tv/P200-overview. If you're curious, that's the one. N10007. Okay, well, I promised to move along, and then you guys keep asking questions. So that's great. Thanks for sticking around and making the chat interesting. We did, if you're just jumping on here late, we did do a BirdDog Play interface review, and I showed plugging it in here. So we had a little chance. Oh, there it is right there. So we had a little chance to plug it in, see what the web interface looks like. It looks very similar to our friends over in the camera realm, right? So if you missed that, feel free to join us or to rewatch the beginning of the show. It only took about 10 or 15 minutes to kind of go through each of the menus, but it is a real thing. Play is on its way, and hopefully you guys will have some success playing with those as well. Get it? In the meantime, take care of yourselves. We hope that you're doing well, gearing up for a weekend. I am actually headed out of the country again this weekend, but just overnight this time. Believe it or not, I am at my 20th high school reunion is this weekend, and so I got to go back and see if anybody shows up. So yeah, we're gonna go check that out and do a little traveling. But I should be back late Saturday night. I'll obviously be in the office next week, and so that will be all good. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will plan to see you on Tuesday at 11 o'clock Eastern time here. We're going to talk about the M4250 next week and how BirdDog plays on that Switch, and we'll give you a little recommendation on how to set things up. I'll even walk you through it. So stay tuned, come back, and we will do this all again. Take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.
Resistance is futile.